All right, Miss Mama Circle Girl. We need to get into this show on Netflix that popped out of nowhere that nobody was gonna give no time to, but we gave all the time for. Hashtag The Circle Netflix. I'm still mad at the winner, but we need to discuss why we like the show, what can be improved from the show, and I'm auditioning for next season. Here we go. Listen. Yeah! Yes, dog! Oh. Get that out of there! Here we go. Hey everybody, it's your boy Maddie Rand. Thanks for tuning in again. You know what to do. Hit that like button, that subscribe button, all the buttons in between. Only positive ting. God damn them for working on stuff right now. Now, if you hear some stomping, some bopping, and some booping in the background here, they're working on these apartments over here today, and I no longer could wait another hour, 2, 3, 4 hours just to record this video. And also the reason why I have my AirPods in, so that way I could try to cancel some noise. But we need to talk about The Circle, because this show I was so not trying to be a part of watching, experiencing, or witnessing. I thought to myself, oh, this is some social media game. I already see a bunch of bull stuff on Twitter. But a friend of mine kind of pushed me a little hard into watching it. Girl, you're going to like Chris. You're going to do this. We remind you of Chris. I don't like when people tell me that I remind them of somebody who's like almost a stereotype. But then again, look at me. So what is The Circle? What is it about? Should it be worth your time? I'll give you my brief description of what I think The Circle is. I want to go down the line of contestants that were on the show. Those who've been eliminated and those who made it to top 5. The show's already happened, so spoiler alert ahead for those who haven't seen it yet. The Circle is a reality TV show where the contestants are sequestered to their own apartments by themselves, in some cases, where it's decorated based on their likes or their personality, and they must play a social media game with a TV called The Circle, or if you're a Chris fan, Miss Circle. They must participate in activities, social games, and anything of the sorts in order to, I guess, make people like them that have not met them, only what they can read and what they can see on pictures that they've posted, videos, etc., etc. At the end of the day, they then must do a popular vote where they choose who are the influencers that get to decide on who gets to go home. Or, excuse me, gets blocked. That's The Circle. So you want to be a part of The Circle. You want to always be in The Circle. If you're taking out The Circle, you've been blocked. They then have the decision of going to see any one contestant to reveal their truth, and or also leave a video message for the remaining contestants to get to know them for what they really are, or be like, honey, somebody ain't real, so y'all better check it. Woo. It got juicy, it got very entertaining. It is a good show, I promise you. Let's get into the contestants. I want to start with the original 8 first, because I kind of hold them close to my heart a little bit, and I was also a little pressed that there was new people introduced into the show, because to me, like the last people who entered in, you know, the son with the banging body, horrible personality, and then his mother who was like, ah. Like, I didn't understand that, and it was too late in the game for me to give them any kind of like or love, and I would have been pissed had they made it to the top 5. And only had been there for like, what, 4 or 5 days? Like, nah, that wasn't gonna work. Now, some of these people have been eliminated, and some of these people made it to the top 5. I'm not gonna go into full discussion of that just yet. Spoiler alerts throughout this video. Now, Alana was pretty. That's why she went home. Literally told everybody she was a model. No one wanted to believe that she was a real person. Sent her home first day. And proved she was a real person on top of that. So that was the giggle, the gag, and the goop. Now, Antonio with his fine, low-key homophobic self, because I got that vibe, but I'm not trying to place it on everybody too soon, but I got that vibe, and I was like, I don't know what to say here. Antonio went home because he was cocky, and it showed after the first elimination, so I wasn't too mad he went home, but I was like, damn, there goes half the eye candy. Now, Karen, who was known as Mercedes, because she was one of the original catfishes on this show, decided to be somebody else upon entry because of her normal look may be considered intimidating to others, and they could have targeted her easily for that, which is true because, girl, they were gagged when they saw who she really was. But let me say this about Karen real quick before I continue this on. Karen, you were my favorite bitch, and I was mad you got sent home, so... No, we like Karen. We liked Karen as Mercedes, but I like Karen more as Karen. Especially when her and Chris got to finally talk and meet. That was a meeting of the gays. It was just lesbian, gay, lesbian. How are you doing? I'm doing fine. I love you. I love you too. Are we good here? It was very that. It was very that. I was here for that whole conversation. Team Karen. We can put her back on season 2. She can be somebody else different. Next is the other one who was catfishing, but to the umpteenth degree. And he also almost messed his game up so much because he knows nothing about women. Knows nothing about it. I'm talking about Seaburn. Now that name gives me an astringent for your face. Possibly something for bad pause. But he was playing his girlfriend, Rebecca. And as Rebecca, he wanted to gain good relations with people because he felt like as a man, it'd be harder for him to come off as friendly, a black man. Y'all saw how fast Antonio went home. And wanted to come off as a woman to see, it was a lot friendlier. Maybe he'll have a better game that way. Well, I'll tell you this. Seaburn made it to the top 5. Seaburn played the best catfish game. But the women on the show should have seen the red flags every time it was discussing something that is literally, menstruation or anything to do with something that we wouldn't know unless we are doctors or have studied the female body. He could have been sent home way early, but he was playing a good game and he sat back a lot of the times and did it right. So I was actually here for how he played the game, but other times I was like, girl, now if you wear this onesie one more time, knowing that I know there has not been one Tide Pod to touch it, I'm going to scream. Chris was robbed. Be mad about it. Argue with me if you want to. Comment section below. Chris was robbed because in my opinion, Chris should have won the game. And not because that's my soul sister. Because I know some of y'all were like, that reminds me of Maddie, because that's what everyone was doing when they were calling me. It was like every straight person that knew me was like, you remind me of. I was like, Chris. Oh my God, yeah. I'm like, not all gay people act the same, but at the same time, Miss Circle. I didn't like Chris in the beginning. I really didn't. I was like, who is this queen rolling up in here with the extra? And I fell in love with Chris every episode as it progressed onward. And I still am mad that he was not chosen to win because they were making him seem like he was sneaky towards the end, but it was really everybody else, in my opinion, that was being more sneaky than Chris. I don't know. That bothered me. That bothered me for the whole season because I was like, this is going to be Chris. It's like down. Like he's the only one that's kept it real 100. But Chris, you were my favorites too, sister. Hey, you. And you my Dallas Trish too. And once I heard he was from Oak Cliff, I was like, oh, that's why he talks like, he's not put on the show, honey. He's been down the block. But shout out to Chris. He was my favorite on the show. Next to somebody else who I'm going to bring up in a second here. But I think Chris was robbed. I think Chris should have won the show. Now, next up is Sammy. I didn't know whether to like her or dislike her the whole season. She had some great, funny moments to herself in the bathroom. Was always in the bathroom. Yeah. Never the bedroom was like, but in the bathroom, she was always like queen. She got on my nerves a couple of times because her insecurities played out in a few of people's questions about her, and it came off so defensive and like, just, I can't believe you would say that about me. It's like, you don't know these people. You do not know these people. Like, none of them, like at all. Like, this is a game. And it got too personal for me with her, but I did like Sammy more than I disliked Sammy. Does that make sense? Like, I liked her more than I disliked her, but there were a lot of dislikable moments where I was just like, ugh. Like, what the hell? And she was the only woman in the top 5, which made no sense to me. Technically, Rebecca was there, but that was Seaburn, so that didn't count. That didn't count. But I was blown away that Sammy was the only woman in the top. I was like, how is this happening here? Because, and we'll get to that later when I talk about Joey. Shubham, Shubham, Shubi, Shubadoop, boop, boop, badoop. They couldn't get that man's name right the entire season till the end. Till the end when everyone was saying it correctly. I liked him, and I also was like, I don't get it. I liked him. And I would have been cool with him winning the game, to be honest with you, because he did play an honest game. He did not BS anybody. He was cool. Every answer was the truth. He was playing the game, but he also was playing it the way he felt right, which was the right way, I guess. I don't know. There is no right way to play a game, girl. It's a game. You gonna win or you gonna lose, period. With a T at the end. But Shubi was cool. I just had some moments where I was like, no ma'am. And when he was like, my best friend is this person, my best friend is Rebecca, my best friend's Joey, you do not know these people. That is confusing to me. It makes me feel like you're naive, and I know you're not that naive of a human being. I know you're not that naive of a human being. I know you're not. I know you're not. You're not. Which gets me to my last person that's in the original 8. Joey, AKA somebody's boyfriend on Housewives in New Jersey. And he's from New York, okay? Mind you. The lovable Guido. Joey had moments where I didn't like the way he played the game more often than how he played the game. I also didn't care for the women kind of relationships that were happening with Joey. And this goes into other guys too, where it was like that back and forth flirtation, where somebody who I'm going to bring up in a second really was like feeling the Joey. And I don't know, y'all. He never sat right with me the entire show. Like, he just seemed to be more on chill than everybody else was. And the game was played almost like it was for him to win. Like, he's straight, he's white, he's cool, he's got a nice body, he's attractive, winner. Like, it felt like that in a way, but I also was thinking to myself, this game can change any moment. It doesn't have to be about color, it doesn't have to be about, you know, sexual identity. It doesn't have to be about anything like that. It could just be on a social level. But with Joey, I don't know. It just felt like, I don't know. I felt like he sat back a little bit more for me, in my opinion. And so when they chose him, when he was chosen as the winner, you know, because we don't vote. It's those in the house that get to, or the apartments or whatever you call it. They get to vote. Also, shout out for the top 5 being from the original 8. That part too. When I tell you I was happy about that, I was like, girl, it had been somebody from the new, I'd have been pressed. Because again, they haven't been in the game as long. How are you going to make it that far? That doesn't make any sense to me. But let's get to those who showed up later and still didn't make it to the end. First one was a little thirsty mama. I got to say it to you, Miranda. Miranda! I am not talking about Sex and the City Miranda either. No. And not Priestley either. You're not running anybody's company with a magazine that big, sister. Let me tell you something. I was cool with Miranda until the thirstation was happening with her. It was almost everybody. But the Joey bit, that was the killer. I mean, they full on made out. I get it, and he was feeling it, but you know, you kind of went in a little hard and strong, sister. I was like, okay, all right. But Miranda got sent home quite quickly. She was there for a little bit, but not too long. But Miranda was more concerned with the Joey D than winning the $100,000 D's, okay? Alex? Raise your hand if you hated Alex from Jump Street, girl. Alex was ew, and it looked like his room smelled, and that's the most I'm gonna give him. I liked him. No. I really tried to, but he catfished as well. And his catfishing, he made himself come off as really douchey based off of the picture that he had that he was using. And to me, I feel like Alex could have gone much farther or been like a person that we liked a lot better had he just been himself from the jump. Same thing goes with Karen, even though I do feel like if Karen had showed her picture, the girls would have automatically judged her and she wouldn't have gotten the same response that she did as Mercedes, even though when Karen showed herself, everyone was like, oh my God. And it was like, yeah, you say that now because she's gone, but when she was there, But Alex, he should have been eliminated the moment he stepped into the room, in my opinion. I was not a fan, if you can't tell, of Alex. So then there's Bill of Douchingburg. Bill was mad when he got eliminated, which I also didn't understand because you weren't in the house that long. And for someone who was like, everybody's fake, all this and that and the other, I was like, honey, he didn't smoke that day. That's why he's pressed. He needed himself a good old sativa, but a hybrid. He needed to be on that chill, but still up. Bill was the douche. I was like, goodbye. Like, the way he left was so like poo-poo. It was gross. I was like, girl, bye. Next. This next contestant, I was rooting for, and I would have been okay had she made it to the top 5 until She came for Sammy for no reason. And I'm talking about Miss Shawn, girl. Miss Shawn was the big girl who did not need to catfish in the game. Now, she catfished originally as her friend, who was pretty. But Shawn was pretty too. Shawn was gorgeous. I was like, why is she, what's going on here? Insecurities, yes, but also because of a social game. You know, people treat other people differently based on how they look. So it was like, I wanted to show up as a skinny girl and see how y'all would act. And she then eventually showed herself to everybody. There was a whole cliffhanger episode. Like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen here? And she didn't share it with everybody. She shared it with a group first to get their response to that. Like, oh, let me gauge the situation. Then she goes, all right, I'm going to now share it with everybody and see what they say. And everyone was cool, but now we all have to look at you like you're phony. And when she called out Sammy for being phony, and Sammy was like, bitch, I wasn't the one that came out as a different person. It ended her game so quickly. With that being said, Shawn was still kind of warm and sweet, and she was pretty, and she was attractive, and she seemed fun, up until it felt like her insecurities were playing against her, and she had to go home. So we were sad to see you go, Shawn. We were sad to see you go, and you were low-key, like, very depressed about the whole situation. I can't believe y'all eliminated me. Yes, you can, girl. You came for Sammy. You know, they were riding that girl all the way up there. And when I say that, I don't mean that in a sexual way. I just mean Joey was holding on for that. You know, Joey was like, I'm going to say Sammy, that's my dog. It was all that. And then the rest of the girls over there. And Chris was giving Sammy more love than Sammy was giving Chris. Whoop! That's true tea as well. And I didn't like that about Sammy. She was not giving Chris as much love as she needed to give him. And Chris was giving her all kinds of coots. So I was just like, Oh. Last but not least, my least of all favorites. I said Alex, but I take that back. Ed and Tammy. You did not need to be there. Ed, we could have had your whole face cut off and just kept the little bottom portion of that, and I've been good. I don't want to say that's so mean. That is so mean. No, that's so mean. Ed just seemed like a big old piece of poo. I didn't really care for Ed. Ed seemed like a complete ASS, you know, the rest. Like, no. But why is your mama there? That didn't make any damn sense to me. Why is your mother on the show with you? Why is your mother there? And she didn't really have that much of an impact on your decisions because honestly, everything that you said you wanted to say, your mom was just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Like real tea. She didn't really do nothing. When she got eliminated though, Tammy was hurt. Tammy, you weren't even playing the game. You were there as an accessory for your son to play. Like honestly, like come on now. Whew. Okay. All right, let me stop. So we talked about the premise of the show. We talked about the contestants on the show. Was the show good? Should you watch it? I've given away a lot already. Is it still worth your time? Personally, yes, because I am going to be auditioning for season 2. I've had everybody talk about it with me, and I'm like, I'm kind of into this. Because I don't have to be in anyone's face directly. I can just be in my room, and I can make my decisions about them social media style. Oh, baby, let's go. Let's go. So I say watch it just for that. But no, the other reasons to watch it is because it's something different. Like, we have Big Brother, we did have the Real World, but that didn't come back after that. They tried that horrible experiment of the online Real World thing that didn't work out too well. In my opinion, I like The Circle because it gives a perspective of different types of people and why they would choose social media, why they would choose to be somebody else on social media to prove a point or to, you know. This is going to be fun editing this video portion.
You guys getting pre-cut?
So basically, y'all are hearing all this noise in the background. They're working on these apartments. They decided to do it today. It's almost 5 p.m. I don't know why they're still here. Ah! All right, so back to this now. Cut. I lost my train of thought. No, I lost my train of thought. Look, it's a good show, y'all. Watch it. It's interesting. It's a new concept. The one that came out on MTV that was kind of like this, but not really like this. That was like, not as like sequestered tease. More of like, we're in the same household and we're doing social media type of stuff. Remember Bad Girls Club tried to have a social media season? That didn't work out either. So what I'm asking you to do is give the show a little bit of your time. Take some time to watch it if you like it. Now, if you start to see things that are problematic with it or that you don't like about it, get in the comment section and tell your brother about it. Let me know how you feel. But I think it's interesting. I think it has some longevity in it. And I'd like to be a part of the show. Maybe bring some more people of color in there. do a little something extra, another crystal somebody, a little wopsy woo, a wopsy woo. Go watch The Circle on Netflix. Get it in your queue. It'll be a part of your time. You'll love it. It's actually a good show. And for those of you who have seen it, comment section, what you think of the show? What you want different? What you want new? What did you like about it? Who do you think should have won? All that and in between. Hugs and kisses, my best love and wishes to you. It's your boy, Maddie Rants. I'm going to try to have another video out to you this week. Let's see how this goes, kids. Bye.